Hello and welcome to a short little tutorial about how to set up a revising planner and ideally how to print it off at the end. I'm going to be using a website called Get Revising, which is part of the student room, to create a revision plan. And that's because it enables me to make it realistic, because I can tell it when I have certain times of day that I don't want to be revising. I can make it really, really detailed and break in my revision sessions into manageable chunks, and I can make it really flexible. So if I wake up on a Saturday morning and I have a headache and I can't do the EP revision that I've set myself, or that the revision planner has set me, then I can log in when I'm better and move that revision slot onto a different time. And throughout my whole process of the revision planner, if I suddenly need to make big changes because I've got a new deadline in, then I can make it adjustable throughout the session. It automatically schedules these revision slots in to the dates that I tell it. So if I tell it when I've got my exams, when I've got my big life commitments, for example, school or football, or revision sessions that are on at school, it will schedule it automatically to make sure that it fits for me. So that's the website, getrevising.co.uk. And the idea of this short video is to show you how to add certain things on your revision planner. You will need to do this on a desktop computer first, but once you've set it up, you can then access it through a smartphone. It should only take about 30 minutes, and you can do multiple things as well as just scheduling in your exams and when you're going to be revising. You do need certain things ready before you begin your creating a revision timetable, and that is when your exams are, what exam boards they are, the length of the exams, any coursework deadlines that you want to pop onto the revision planner, and then as many life events that affect your ability to study and revise as you possibly can. And that's because you can tell it when to block out certain periods of time. For example, if you know that you've got a wedding coming up in a few Saturdays' time, you can tell the software, and it will block it out on that Saturday so that it just doesn't then ask you to do revision. And that'll be the same if you have clubs or sporting fixtures or volunteering work or shift work and that sort of thing. Okay, when you first get onto the website, you will click on join and it will come up with this little page. You pop in your own username and password, use your school email address, it will ask you for your date of birth and then the level that you're studying. So if you're in year 10 and 11, you would click GCSE. Even if you're doing a combination of vocational subjects and GCSE, please do just click GCSE. And if you're in year 12 and 13, you need to click A2/A level, because this is a national piece of software and we have things like the Scottish Highers in the list and so on. Okay, so I set up my own login a little while ago. So I've logged in and this is my front page of my study planner. And all of these things at the top there, as you can see, and exams and so on, these are my tools in order to create my revision timetable. And you can see that we've got week by week. So I've already done some setting up. I'm going to add some extra bits to it with you. You can see that I'm in school between 8 and 4 on a Thursday and a Friday and throughout the whole week, because that's the date today. And it's already scheduled in some revision timetable slots as well as some commitments. I'm going to show you how to do all of those now. So the first thing I could do is I can edit my exams. So I've already told it that I'm doing an English literature exam on the 25th of May, which will last me an hour and 45 minutes. And I wanted to start my revision straight away in March when I set this up. And I wanted to revise for 20 hours. And it's really easy to add in. So I can add in RS, and I'll do that on purpose because actually anybody that's studying EP, you won't be able to find EP. You have to click on religious studies, and that's because everyone across the country reverts to that as religious studies. I'm going to pretend that that exam is on the 29th of April and it's a Ringwood School exam in the morning, so we'll say that's at 8:30 and it's for an hour. I want to start revising from today, that's the 21st, and I want to revise for 20 hours. Okay, Now, the title religious studies that's just put in for me might be confusing for me. So I'm going to change that to EP and I'm going to give it the colour red. Save and continue. Okay. Now I can, if I wanted to, set myself some email alerts so it will prompt me when my revision sessions are for this exam or when the exams are. That would be really positive. Obviously, it's not a real exam for me, so I'm going to take those off and continue. Now, you can now see that between tomorrow and today, even after school, I've got a couple of revision sessions because I wanted 20 hours between the next sort of 2 weeks. So I've got quite a few slots in there. And you can see the ones with the star is the actual exam. And all of these other little blobs that is already populated in for myself have been slotted in. And if I click on one of them, I can make it really specialised. So I might say that in that session, I'm really going to focus on Christianity. Especially if I can spell it, Christianity. And it will come up automatically with all of these resources. So it's got 2,827 resources that are all based on religious studies. And I've just tried to break it down to Christianity. It might be that I'm studying Islam. And if I pop in Islam, straight away we've got other revision materials for Islam. And these are all approved by teachers. So they've been made up by probably a teacher in the country and uploaded to this software. You see there's revision cards, flashcards and so on that you can use. If I come back out of that, I can then show you how to add in commitments. So you'll see down there I've got football on a Saturday as a commitment, and I've got maths revision, which is already a commitment. And you can see that I've set those up. So I've already told it that on a Monday I do maths revision, on a Tuesday I volunteer, and on a Saturday I play football. So let's add another one in. On a Sunday morning from, we'll say 8 in the morning until, that's long, 10:15 a.m. I have a paper round. And continue. Okay, so what you can now see on a Sunday, it's blocked out that period of time, so it won't be able to drop any revision sessions into that area. Now I can also edit my subjects. So earlier on when I first started setting this up, I popped in the subjects that are relevant at Ringwood School, and you can tell it the exam board. So earlier on when I put in religious studies and I put in OCR, all of those materials for Christianity and Islam should be relevant for the OCR scheme, and it's therefore you won't get confused with other resources that are not relevant to your exam board. Okay, I can edit deadlines. So I came in earlier and I said that I have a deadline on the 10th of May for GCSE PE. It's a bit of coursework. And I wanted to spend between the time I set it up on the 19th of April, 4 hours, so 4 slots between the study start date and the date that it was due in. And again, I could email myself little alerts if I wanted to. It's really easy again, just edit it in. So it might be that I am doing French and we could give it a bit more. So I might say that I'm doing some grammar and vocab for French, and it is a mock exam, and that mock exam is going to be on, let's say it's the 29th, and it's going to be at 11:45 in the morning. I want to start revising straight away or working on it, and I need to think how many hours or how many slots do I want between now and then. Remember, these are all editable. So say I want to do 3 hours slots, and I add it a colour and I save it. Okay, and now if we pop in now and then, we should have some slots in where I'll be doing those deadlines. Say for example we've actually changed your mind. Say that because I put 20 slots for a week, an exam that was 2 weeks away, and that was too many, I can simply click on the slot and delete the session. Click on the slot, delete the session if I wanted to. I could make it really specific. So I could say for EP that I'm studying, we said earlier, it might be Islam. And what am I going to do in that session? I'm going to do a past paper question 1 to 5 and mark it. There you go, save and continue. And then, so next time you can see now I've got a little note in there. When I get to Monday the 25th, I can click on it and I know what it is that I was going to actually revise. So it's made it really specific for me. So those elements of making it a bit more detailed take a bit more time, but it's worth it because then it will save time later on. And you can see that this is your sort of overall. So this week, that's what I've got planned in. And I've got all of them in all together. And it might be that I want to change my mind and I want to delete things. I might want to drag and drop some bits in to change the locations. I can also add in certain holidays, just like I've done before. I could add holidays for a week. It might be a half term or some holidays or Easter, etc. I could add those in so that you have no school at that time and you say whether you're going to be able to study through that holiday or not. I would suggest do, and you can change those in. If you want the blue school slots to stop, so for example, Year 11s will be with us this year until the 10th of June, and on the 10th of June their sessions will stop in school, and it will just be then the last few exams that are left. You would click onto that area there and tell it that. And very simply, once you've got it to a point where you think, yeah, that's correct, that's how I want to do it, you print it, printable PDF. You can choose your date, so it might be that you want the whole 5, 6, 7 weeks worth of revision materials and plan. It might be you just want 1 week at a time because you think that you might edit things later on, and you can print it to a printer. That's basically it. There is one more function that I want to show you that's really good. So that's the front page. That's where we've been, the Create a Study Planner. But we've got this function here as well, practice past papers. And sometimes it's really difficult to find a past paper with the mark scheme for your exam board at a touch of a button. And this allows you to do it. So you would just choose, say, for example, GCSE. You might be thinking, right, biology. You could be choosing science, but if you do biology, you might just hit the biology paper. We'll say AQA, find the past papers, and straight away I've got 7 results for GCSE biology where I've got foundation and higher papers with a mark scheme attached. So it's a nice little quick, easy function, which is quite good. And they will continue to update those as we go through the years. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. If you have any questions as you're setting up your own revision timetable, please do feel free to come and knock on the door and ask me. Best way is to have a little play with it. For some of you, it will work really well. For some of you, it might be that it's just that simple past paper function that's really important. But do let us know how you get on. Okay, thank you very much. Take care.